Welcome back to the podcast, y'all, where self-improvement is the movement, and this is our first guest appearance episode. I want to first and foremost introduce my guests before we do anything else. So I got my girl here, Tiranie.
Hi.
Here, go ahead and introduce yourself. Don't be camera shy.
Well, I'm Tiranie. I'm 21, and I moved here in like May, so I'm kind of new. I'm very new, actually.
Yeah. And tell me a little bit about yourself in terms of like interest and, you know, things you like to do.
Okay, so I like working with my hands. So really, I like doing I like mental games and shit, but I like going paintball. I like bowling. I like that type of shit, I guess.
Yeah.
And movies. I like movies and shit.
Where is your like mindset at you being 21 years old and like?
Okay, so I think I have a good mindset. Okay, elaborate. What you mean?
Like, what do you find yourself thinking about like most often, like on your free time or just like on a regular basis?
Getting more money.
That's how
Pretty
it should
much,
be,
yeah.
honestly. Yeah,
Get more money.
it's tough
Whole
out here,
time.
right? Like inflation is going crazy.
No, valid. Shit's expensive. Everything is fucking expensive. Everything.
Yeah. Before we continue, y'all go ahead and if y'all are watching the YouTube version of this, like, comment, share, subscribe. It's gonna give me a lot more, I guess, motivation to keep on posting these. And if you're listening to this, go ahead and share it to people. You know, get it out there. This is a self-improvement channel, self-improvement podcast overall. So go ahead and show me some love, show me some support. I know y'all been doing a good job of that, so I don't even really have to ask. But, you know, I appreciate every single one of y'all. But without further ado, we're going to get into this thing now. A quick rundown of like topics of discussion here. We're going to talk about mental health because that's one thing I am going to touch on in pretty much every episode. Relationships and what it is the most important thing in a relationship, why dating and relationships are kind of, there's a lot of negatives to it nowadays. You know, the divide between men and women. I want to know more about that from a female perspective, some conspiracy theories, some spiritual stuff. First off, I'm just going to start off with, how is your mental health?
Okay. To be honest, I think I have a pretty good mental health right now. Just because I've been like self-reflecting on a lot of shit and like coming to terms with like who I am and why I do what I do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've been understanding myself a lot better.
That's good. Like where did that start to come from? Like when did you start like, oh, like this is who I am, this is what I do, and like come to terms with like yourself?
Okay, so to be honest, when I moved here, that's really when my shit like kick started because I was by myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I had family here, but they was like working and shit. You know what I mean? So I was really kind of in the house by myself. So I don't know, like that shit was tough for like a good minute. It's like I went down and then I came back up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't fully know how to describe it. Like, bitch, that's also my bad. Don't mean crazy.
No.
But when I got into like spirituality and like manifestation and shit, that really helped with that too.
Yeah. And you know what? Let's just talk about that right now. Like, because I know for a lot of people, including myself, the spiritual aspect of life has really helped me in self-improvement, and that really started when like COVID hit and everything, for me at least. Came across a lot of content creators that were really deep into like spirituality and things of that nature, and I really like realized that it was a essential part of life. And once you really start to get a great understanding of spirituality and why it's really, I guess, a thing, you're going to really be in a better spot in life. So tell me about like how spirituality has played a role like in your life, for good or for bad.
Okay, so to be honest, I'm an overthinker. Like I think
that
a lot. Like I think about a lot of shit. So you'll be surprised how much you stress about life, like, and just about where it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like for me, spirituality, it made me realize that my life is gonna keep going regardless, and it's gonna go where it needs to go regardless. Yeah. Now it's up to me to do what I have to do to push it in certain directions. You know what I mean? But it's gonna keep going regardless. And everything has ups and downs. Like, it's good and bad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And spirituality also helped me. Like, I was told this, like, they not losses, they lessons. You know what I mean? But I couldn't really actually think about that.
I'm going to pause you right there. So crazy. I had to cut you off because I just made a reel for Instagram. Mm-hmm. Before you came in, I was literally working on the reel. And at the end of it, I said, it's about lessons, not losses.
Yeah.
I said L stands for lessons, not losses.
Yeah.
Like, shit like that. Like, that's spiritual shit right there. Mm-hmm. Like, it's shit like you really can't explain that really works in your favor. And it's like, a lot of things for me, it lets me, like, what spirituality does for me is, like, it lets me know I'm heading in the right direction in, like, certain aspects. Mm-hmm. Like, I'll have, like, coincidences, which guys, like, yeah, coincidences sometimes are a thing, but, like, shit happens for a reason. Like,
valid.
Shit happens for a reason.
Valid.
But you can continue on.
Okay, so, yeah, like, I was told that. I was told, like, so basically same thing, like, because I had told somebody they took an L. Like, I was like, oh, you like, it's a loss. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he told me, like, no, it's a lesson. Like, I don't take them as losses. I take them. And when he told me that, in my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, that sound right. But I actually didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you didn't actually take it in? On
the inside, yeah. Like, I heard it. It was in my mind, but it wasn't in here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, coming here, yeah, that's really what helped me realize that. Because everything that you go through, is to prepare you for where you going next. You know what I mean? Like, like I have, I'm an esthetician. I have, like, a client, and she told me that the way that she relates to her husband is because they both left, like, tough marriages. You know what I'm saying? And that helps them relate. And so I was kind of like, yeah, okay, you went through this tough marriage and it was fucked up. Like, you never know how long she was in it, but you went through this tough ass marriage, but it prepared you for the man that you've been waiting for your whole life, who y'all connect on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
On a
like,
deeper
it's kind of
level.
Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, shit that you go through prepares you for later on in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I heard a quote one time. It said, you grow through what you go through. And that's a fire ass quote. Like, I love that quote. Do you on the spirituality thing, do you think that in our lives, like, there's a path destined for us already, like, predetermined, and we just have to, like, find it?
Okay, so that's a good point. So I think your life is what you make it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, okay, so I think in the term of God and everything, because, like, in terms of spirituality, I believe in God, like, and I believe in the universe and shit. Okay, because you were talking about, like, do I think that, like, shit is predestined?
Yeah.
So you know how, like, God is, like, omniscient. Like, he knows everything. He know your story and all that. And even in, like, mythology, you got, like the fate. Like, it's some lady, but it's like you got a string, and it's, like, your destiny or some shit. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that type shit. But in my opinion, because I can't speak for nobody else, I can only speak for myself. And personally, I believe your life is what you envision it to be.
So manifestation.
Basically. So, like, if you envision you're going to be a lawyer and you work your whole life, you become a lawyer. Technically speaking, you followed your path. Like, your path was predetermined to you. You know what I'm saying? But it's some people who, they go through their life and then they might fall on drugs or, like, hard times or some shit, and they life completely fucked up from what they thought it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, when it comes to that type of shit, I don't know. Like, was they destined to do that?
That's what I think about too. Like, I was just thinking about that.
At the same time, people go through shit. Like, if we think about the world the way that it work or whatever, you go through shit and then you come into somebody else's life and you don't know what part you play. Yeah. You might need it to play that certain part for that person to do what they needed to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, you on hard times, but you being fucked up coming in their life, you might have fucked something up for them, and then they, you know what, I'm not gonna do that, and it take, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't feel like it's predetermined, but I feel like everything happens for a reason, I guess.
In a way, yeah. Because, I feel like no matter which path you end up taking, like, there's something there.
Yeah, no matter what.
Shit.
Yeah. Very valid. Yeah.
And I feel like everyone should have the mentality of, like, they're the main character in their story. And, like, everyone else is, like, plays a role, whether it be good or bad. Like,
you wanna know something crazy though? What you saying
up?
that? I've always thought of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like living my life. I'm going through life. I can only experience it my way. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You a completely separate person, and you going through your life. You feel like to me, you like a supporting character.
Yeah.
But to you, I'm a supporting character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like a one player game. You only ever play your experience.
Yep.
So you don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Like other people, you don't really fucking know.
You really don't know. There's this one YouTube channel called Pursuit of Wonder, and they talk about some really deep, philosophical, psychological stuff. And there's this one episode recently that they were saying was like, okay, so I'll break it down like this. There's a story he made a story up of this girl, and she was at a party, got in a fight, had a concussion or whatever, lost all of her train of thought and her memory. That's the word. Shit. She lost her memory of like who she was as a person and like shit like that. She didn't lose her memory of like the world and like shit like that. I'm not sure what the word is, but she lost there's two parts of like your memory that you lose. She lost the memory to where she didn't know who she was as herself, and she was in a hospital bed, and her mom was there, and she was like, "Mom, who am I?" And the mom explained to her like how she viewed her, from a mom to a daughter. And then the friends she was with at the bar came in to check up on her, and she was like, Emily or whatever her name was, how was I as a person? Like, who am I? And she gave her rundown from a friend perspective. Yeah. And then like her boyfriend came in, same thing. She was like, who am I? And they all gave different responses. So it's like there's so many different perspectives that people can see of you. And it's like no one really knows who you truly are but you.
But you. Yeah. Valid.
So moving on, I wanted to talk about childhood traumas and childhood experiences in general and how they shape us, as younger adults today. How do you think people could shred like those negative experiences that they've went through?
How do you think they say it again? How you think they
so like there's a child that goes through some real shit, and they grow up and they can't get away from that, and it affects how they live. It affects their mindset. Like, do you think there's like, well, I'm sure there is, but like, in what way can a person go about it to like kind of shred those like traumas and like negative experiences?
Okay, so in my opinion, because like I said, I can only speak for myself, but in my opinion, I think actually in like taking in what happened and talking yourself through it and realizing how it's not your fault. Because as a kid, kids internalize shit so much. Yeah. Like so much. Like everything is a kid fault. They don't know why the fuck shit happening, but they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They internalize that shit. So it's actually sitting with yourself, talking about what happened and telling yourself like it's not your fault. You know what I mean? Like this happened to you. It don't have to make you like let me see. Let me think. Cause like when I think of that type of stuff, like with me, I used to catch whoopings like all the time. Like when I was a kid, I used to get my ass beat. You know what I mean? But this is the thing. So where it like turns into like that transfers into like people pleasing sometimes. Yeah. Because when you get your ass beat for doing something wrong, you want to do the right thing. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the right thing is different to everybody. So it's kind of like it turns into people pleasing. Well, I wonder what they want and giving them what they want. You know what I mean? And that plays a major part. But then like with me, because I went through that, I was a people pleaser. Like I would give so much of myself and not even really want anything back. You know what I mean? Like I felt like it was my job to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of like I got to a point where I was like, you know what? Actually, I don't want to do this. Like, I've been thinking I want to do this the whole time, but really what I want is for this person to like me. Yeah. What I want is to do something that this person likes so that they can see me in a better light. You know what I'm saying? but I actually don't want to do this shit. And when I realized that, it like helped me like actually, like speak up for myself and be like, actually, because like sometimes I talk to myself and I be like, bitch, why do you think you deserve this? You know what I'm saying? Like I ask myself that, why do you think you deserve this? And then you come to a realization, I don't. Like I don't fucking deserve this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once you get to that, once you actually feel like I don't deserve this, bitch, you not taking shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like as a kid, if I would have been taught, hey, like, you stand up for yourself. Like, you don't, even if I'm me as your parent, even if I'm telling you something and you don't feel like it's right, you can talk to me and tell me that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kids are never taught that a lot of times.
And if they were, their life be so much different.
Valid.
But you know,
valid.
That's just kind of how life works. You learn, and you kind of just go with shit as go with shit as you're living, and as long as you're taking everything in and trying to figure it out, trying to navigate through life,
right,
and trying to improve on the areas you think you need improvement in, and just learning from experiences, like learn from your experiences.
Actually learn from it.
So
valid.
Like that's gonna change everything. But
valid.
With traumas in a relationship, I was talking to someone with this a week or two ago. It was about like how how you should shred, and it's not fair to shred and let go of all your trauma because we're human at the end of the day. We all have emotions. We all have to get over shit,
That's true.
But as long as you're trying to get better and trying to get rid of like that mental block caused from the trauma,
right,
like that's good. But there are people that before they get in a relationship, they're still fucked up by it. Still fucked up by it. And when they get into a relationship, guess what? That trauma is within the partner now.
That's true.
That trauma is in
that shit.
You're sharing that shit with them, and it's like you're giving them that negative energy. You're giving that negative vibe. So
they transfer.
Let me see how I can break this down. You're in a relationship and you can't really trust the person you're with, even though they haven't given you a reason not to trust them. But the reason why you don't trust them is because the last person you couldn't trust.
I didn't do that, yeah.
The last person you couldn't trust. So you have your guard up like super high.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to the next person because they didn't do shit to you.
Valid.
They didn't give you a reason to not trust them.
Right.
They give you all the reason in the world to trust them.
Right.
But you still don't trust them.
Right.
And that's not fair to them.
Right.
And I feel like that is one thing within relationships that turn into a cycle, because they'll get into a relationship with that new person who is loving, caring, who is a genuine person towards them. But because that person,
I got something for you though.
Just because that person went through something prior with someone else, a whole different experience, they bring that on to the next relationship. Like I don't think that's fair. What do you have to say?
Okay, so true, I don't believe that that's fair, right? And I can give you an explanation, but even explanations don't make shit right. You know what I mean? It just explains why they happen. Not saying that they should happen.
Yeah.
So in terms of that, a lot of times, or for myself, I did the same thing with my last relationship. And I think it's because everything, when you're talking to somebody, sometimes shit start off the same. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, okay, shit can start off one way and end a completely different way.
I see what you're saying.
So it's kind of like you meet somebody and they good, and then later on they fuck you over. You don't know what you did to deserve that. So then the next person you meet them, they good. Okay.
You seen that before?
Yeah, but the last one was good. So I gotta keep my head on the swivel this time. You know what I mean?
And that's fair to like, have your guard. That's fair though. To have your guard up in a way. Yes, but no. It's so tough.
It gets to a point to where it's like, now having your guard up and keeping in mind, okay, I have to keep this in mind with this person. Where the problem comes in is some people, okay, well, I'll catch an attitude. Like, I'll catch an attitude and I'll make this person feel bad because, they're probably going to do something to me. Or that's where it becomes a problem. When you intentionally affect somebody else negatively, that's the problem. You can internalize, take hints and all that stuff, but it's when you start acting out or being like what I used to do. I used to be like, oh, we should just break up then. We should just break up.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
You're one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it's never me being like, oh, he won't leave. It's more like, okay, if you don't want to be with me, let's just split ways. I'm not about to waste my time no more. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's like a quick exit, not more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, or in my experience, that's kind of what it was for me. It's kind of like you jump to get it over with because you don't wasted your time so much. I'm not doing it again. So we might as well end it now. You know what I mean? But in relationships, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to work through problems and not just, okay, well then leave. Go ahead. Yeah. Bye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fucked up. And me not intentionally trying to hurt him, but my actions hurted him. Yeah. Because he's like, okay, this is my girlfriend. I love her. Why does she keep trying to break up with me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like from different points of views, it's different motivations. Like shit can be taken different ways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's when you're intentionally trying to harm somebody, that's where the problem is. And then not intentionally harming somebody, but harming them. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's also a problem. But that's where like self-reflection comes in.
Self-reflection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and like kind of take accountability for shit. Yeah. And to realize where you're wrong.
And that you're not the victim.
Yeah. Like so many people have a victimized mentality. And it's like, okay, so this person was the most fucked up person in the world and you were like great and perfect and all this shit. Yeah. Like, and you keep getting in relationships and the same problem keeps occurring. What's the common denominator?
It's you.
It's you.
But some people are really surface level. They can't even, you can tell somebody self-reflect and they won't even actually be like, well, what did I do? Yeah. It's like, some people are mentally ill. Like, honestly, a lot of people are mentally ill. Like, when you can't actually self-reflect, like, some people, their brain really doesn't allow them to do that. Yeah. Like, people who are, like, narcissists or people who have, like, a God complex or something, you might not intentionally do it. Like, but in all honesty, your brain won't be like, I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, some people really cannot believe that they wrong. Yeah. They can't, like, mentally. I've met a lot of people who they can't see the fault in their ways.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that point of childhood trauma was great because it gets me to the next thing I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So on a recent podcast episode, I think it's the most recent one, I was talking about my top 3 most important things in a relationship. And I put it on my story and most people said trust and whatnot or whatever. I'll get to your opinion in a second, but what I want to say is I want to tell you mine.
Okay.
Number 1 was clarity. Now I saw communication in there, but I feel like if you're not clear with what you're saying, you can say a whole bunch of shit and not mean shit. But if you're clear and concise with what you're saying and upfront with it and just honest, that is more valuable than communication, I believe. That clarity happens because you're able to be vulnerable with that person. Because hold on. I know you want to jump in.
Go ahead.
I know you want to jump in.
Go.
The clarity comes from you being vulnerable, and why people aren't vulnerable nowadays in relationships, the trauma.
Valid.
They don't want to open up. Valid. And you know, I've experienced this. Like, I am the farthest thing from perfect, and I have, you know, fucked up shit because I wasn't able to be vulnerable. I wasn't able to be open. I wasn't able to be clear with what I was saying.
Right.
And I had, communication problems and everything. But what I wanted to say was that lack of vulnerability obviously leads to a lack of trust.
Right.
So like those are my 3 things. Clarity, vulnerability and trust were my top 3. And I feel like that goes like hand in hand with each other. But and that goes back to like the trauma as what we were just talking about. But I know you're itching to get in there. What do you want to say?
Okay, so when you said clarity, right?
Yeah.
Some people can't describe how they feel. They just feel some type of way. You know what I mean? some people actually can't describe it. Like, they don't have the words for it. You see what I mean? So it's kind of like, yes, you communicate, in my opinion, which clarity is good. It's always good to be clear. But, like, communication, that's, okay, well, you made me mad. Well, why did I make you mad? Because you didn't do this. Well, why did me not doing this make you? I don't know. I don't know why I didn't make me. You know what I'm saying? Like that. But that's somebody speaking on their feelings. Yeah. They might not know exactly what it is, but they're trying to. So you're saying some
people literally can't express.
Everybody is different. Yeah, literally everybody is different.
You know what? There has been some instances where I've communicated, but it wasn't like in the most clear way. And it's because like some shit I just, like, me personally, I just cannot describe. Like, I can't express. I see what you're saying now. Yeah, that's real shit.
Also, in terms of that, it's like that's why if you are around somebody who wants to communicate and you even give that little bit of you made me feel like this, they'll latch onto that and they won't take it as, oh, well, you can't even explain what you're talking about. So, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, some people do that, but you have some people who, okay, well, let's unpack that. Like, why do you know what I'm saying? Like, why do you? Those, I think, when you can't express yourself clearly, those are the type of people you need to be with. Because a lot of people, if you tell them, oh, well, I don't know why you made me feel like that, they'll be like, oh, well, that's a personal problem.
Yeah.
Like, you can't even, that's a personal problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like there should be a middle ground because, yeah, you can, like, try to egg them on to open up more. Sure. But, like, you shouldn't have to go too far to get them to open up.
That's the same thing.
Because if that trust is there, if that vulnerability is there.
That's true. No. That's what I'm saying. Your points, that's what I'm saying. Your points, they fire as hell. Like, for real. It was just that first one I wanted to touch on that because, like, everybody's different. Okay.
That makes sense.
So, my three is communication.
Okay.
Honesty. Like, honesty through everything, just telling the truth. Because, like, bitch, a lie fuck up so much shit. Communication, honesty, and, damn, what's the third?
It ain't got to be 3 if you ain't got 3.
I think it's being, having good intentions, regardless.
Does that go with honesty, or is that, like, kind of different?
Honesty is telling the truth. Having good intentions is, like,
genuine,
golden rule type shit. Yeah. You have to be genuine. You have to be able to communicate, and you have to be honest. Those are my 3.
Okay. Have you formulated those 3 mainly from experience or, like, seeing it on the outside looking in?
From experience and outside looking in, really. Because I'm big on honesty regardless. Like, I hate, it's crazy because I used to be a liar when I was a kid. That's one thing I used to catch whippings for. You catch whippings for lying. So, I used to lie a lot.
Captain Cap.
I used to lie. No, honestly, no, for real. I used to lie. And so, I got my ass whoopings and shit. And that's, my mama always told me, like, it's some shit that stuck with me. It's 3 things, well, really 2. 2 things that she told me about. She said she don't like liars and she don't like thieves.
Yeah.
Those were her 2. And those are, like, morals that stuck with me. Because if somebody lie, you can't trust nothing that they say.
You can't.
Nothing. If they lie to you one time, in your mind, regardless on if they know that they only lied one time, you don't know what else they lied about. That's, like, intentionally deceiving me. It's, like, the worst thing you could do because I'm going to think you're doing it all the time now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, and that's trust. That's where my trust is fucked up. That's a trust issue problem. Because just because somebody lied to you one time don't logically mean that they're going to lie every time.
Yeah, but it could.
But you don't know. That's what I'm saying. You don't know. So that's why I believe honesty is the best policy because I'm letting you know I have this problem. I need you to be honest with me because if you not, shit is going to get fucked up. Yeah, something going to get fucked up.
Go down.
Yeah.
I like those 3. Why is dating fucked up? Why are relationships fucked up nowadays? From the outside looking in.
Okay. Outside looking in, okay, so let me give you my theory, right? Okay. Everybody is the same. Everybody is the same. When you think about it, down to internal, unless you're like a psychopath, sociopath, whatever. You want love. And you want somebody to genuinely care for you.
That's human nature.
The problem is the problem is humans are also greedy. We're greedy and we're jealous. And, like, it's negative shit that play into relationships. So, like, okay, you have it's like a girl and a guy, right?
Yeah.
The girl is thinking, because, you know, women and men we're divided, technically. We're against each other. It's the whole bitches ain't shit, money over bitches, and then it's niggas ain't shit, you know what I'm saying? Fuck nigga free. You know what I mean? We're divided completely. So, or, that's what I'm saying, normally people group y'all and group us together. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you have a bad experience with one or two men, bitch, then normally you tell your homegirls, and they like, yeah, all these niggas trash. They all bad. You know what I mean? Yeah. You ain't even met all the niggas. So how you gonna say they all bad? You know what I mean? Yeah. Or then, shit, you got, I don't know how dudes be with they homeboys, but you tell them a bitch do you wrong, like 2-3 bitches do you wrong, bitches ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a mentality that you go to.
It's a mentality.
So it's kind of like when you done been fucked over time and time again, and you feel like, you know what, fuck it, I'm gonna just start using these people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're infecting other people because the next person that you come in contact, they didn't do anything to you. Yeah. Like, it's like a cycle.
That's fucking crazy.
It's a cycle. So it's like, okay, let's say somebody hurt a girl. So she hurt the next nigga she come in contact with. But he was a good person. Yeah. She done fucked him up. So now he about to go fuck somebody else up. And somebody else's daughter who just looking for love run into him, and he was fucked up by the last bitch. And so now he about to fuck over her, but she just looking for love. Yeah. And then she get fucked over by him. She like, you know what? I was trying to give him my all. I was a good person, and he did this to me. Yeah. Fuck every nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The shit it's a cycle.
Do you think it's so far gone now? Because, like, I feel like we're deep in it. Because, like,
true.
You use that word infecting, like, it's infecting most.
Yes, it's an infection. And this is what I'm saying. I used to feel like that. That's like, crazy. I went through it and looking at it from the outside. Like, now, I got a couple homegirls. They was going through it with they dudes or whatever. And they said the shit like niggas ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, they all bad. Like, it's not, I live in Louisiana. It's not a good nigga in Louisiana. They all trash. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting in the back, and I had to tell them, I was like, hold on. Hold on, because y'all haven't met all niggas. I got a brother. He fire as hell. Like, he take care of his wife. He take care of his family. Like, you know what I'm saying? He do everything to the best of his ability. He ain't never cheat. You know what I'm saying? And they was telling me, like, oh, well, you don't know the inside of their relationship, and you don't know what he do. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's true. I only see him from, like how you said, different perspectives. I only see him from a brother perspective, and that's my big brother, so, you know what I'm saying? Superhero for real. So, but shit, even his wife said he good. Yeah. And we be talking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm cool with his wife. If he was to do anything to her, I would tell her to leave him, like, in a heartbeat. Because you don't deserve, regardless of my relationship to this person, you don't deserve what you're going through. So it's kind of like, if my brother can be a good dude, you can't say that all dudes are bad, because I got one that's good. Yeah. I got other brothers, they ain't shit. I got a daddy. You know what I'm saying? He kind of ain't shit too. So I got like 7 perspectives of niggas ain't shit. And I got this one that is possible. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shit, if it's possible, then it's possible.
But before heading into a relationship, it's all about the mentality of, like, heading into it, why you would want to head into it. Yeah. But now you're saying everyone's mentality's fucked. Yeah. Because it's, I'm going to do this person wrong. Yeah. And that might not be their intention, but that's what they're going to end up doing.
I'm going to make sure I'm good. I'm going to make sure I'm good regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a good mindset, but also another thing. Like, you know how the 3 things. Yeah. Believing in the golden rule is one of my, like, morally, you have to believe in the golden rule for me. And I think that goes along with being genuine. Yeah. You don't treat others how you would want to be treated, no matter how people treat you. You don't. You don't treat them how you wouldn't want to be treated. Yeah. Like, even if that's what I'm saying, like, going into your next relationship with baggage from the last, that's what I've been working on, because it's kind of like realizing that just because the last person was a bad person don't mean you have to lower yourself so much to be like them. Like, that's what I'm saying, like, bitch, that's like you in the major leagues, and you doing shit somebody in the minor leagues is like doing, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, bitch, you not even there. They don't even fucking matter. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't even lower yourself to that. But Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's another thing. People can't see that.
Yeah.
Like, it's a get back mentality.
I know you're talking about the divide between men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe, and this is a question I've been really asking myself,
Okay.
do you think that there's more of a divide between black women and black men? Because I can tell from social media, relationships and dating and everything like that in general, it gets so toxic because women are trying to tell men what to do, men are trying to tell women what to do.
Right.
Women are in some cases trying to be like men, and men are some cases trying to be like women in terms of like roles, right? Do you think all of those problems are amplified between like black women and black men? Like, or at least how do you see it from your perspective?
Okay.
Because I think there is.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of negativity, a lot of lack of accountability, a lot of shaming, a lot of bashing, shit like that.
Okay, so I think in terms of because like going into the whole race thing, that's like a whole different story. Like when I was just speaking, I was speaking like in terms of like two people, two souls. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you come into like the reality and like when you bring in like race and everything, because race is definitely a factor. I feel like kind of yes, kind of no, because you know the stereotype of a boy raised in the house without his father, only with his moms and his aunties and stuff, and he doesn't really have a real male role model. Yeah. And then you're surprised why maybe his ways are more feminine. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he might go back and like people don't expect men to go back and forth. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he was raised in a house around a mama who went back and forth with him and around sisters who went back and forth with him. Why would he not, when he come in public, go back and forth with somebody? You know what I mean? Like that's what he knows. Mm-hmm. So same thing, like that should go back to childhood. But I feel like kind of with black people, I don't know, because I don't want to say that like, well, yeah, actually, because when you think about it, like how like we were on like EBT and shit, you know what I mean? Well, not EBT, but like after the slaves was free and we all were in like one section with each other and shit, and like the government was supposed to be helping us, like all that shit. Like during that time, like with welfare and everything. Yeah. If you were in a house and you were on welfare, which don't fucking quote me, I think this is what I'm thinking, but if you were in a house and you were on welfare, you couldn't really have a man in the house with you. Mm. Like if you were a mother with kids, you couldn't have a man in the house with you. Yeah. And it's kind of like, I think I remember of like a report, like they would come and like they would do like inspections and stuff. I think before everything was online and shit. Yeah. But they would do like inspections and shit, and if they saw like a man living with you, they wouldn't help you. Really? Yeah. I never heard of that. I'm going to have to look it up. Okay. I'm going to have to look it up because I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yeah, it was like, but that was, cause I think everything, like anything from the government, I be feeling like that's that conspiracy theory shit. Yeah, like it goes into that, but like, oh, girl, it's so much shit. But like, men weren't really encouraged to be in the house. And then another thing, they was in fucking jail. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like it's a higher rate of black men in prison than it is like any other race. So they in jail, so they can't be around their families. Mm-hmm. And then if I'm right with the whole welfare thing, they couldn't have men in the house. Yeah. It's kind of destined for men not to be around. And men are like women, yes, mothers, we are a significant part in like the situation. You have to have a mother to even have a baby. Yeah. But men play a significant role in just the family structure, and of your kids like growing up, what they expect, like they play a big role. So I think not having fathers in the household for some people, that also contributes to that. Yeah. Like with like the role thing, like the roles that people play. You know what I mean?
Okay, so I know you were talking about how some men are like can be like emotional or overly emotional, and that can kind of rub the women they're with or talking to the wrong way. Mm-hmm. I feel like it can go the opposite too. I feel like because some black children grow up in single mother households, they're taught to be like their mothers are super strict to the point where it's like, well, I don't even think it's the single mother thing. I think it's more of like very tough love. Both parents can be there. It can be very tough love from parents to where
true.
they can be like, oh, like, you know, you'll be a little kid crying about something.
Yeah.
Oh, suck it up.
Suck it
Oh,
up,
stop
yeah.
being a baby. Or,
Yeah.
oh, stop doing this. Or, oh, you'll be fine. Or blah, 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 right? I feel like especially with black parents. But
yeah. No, especially.
yeah. But I feel like that makes some children to grow up and to be emotionally unavailable. And to, going back to what we were talking about, not opening up and keeping your guard up.
Valid.
Like, how do you feel about that?
I definitely think that that's true. Especially in terms with boys. It's more like kind of like how boys can't have dolls, you know what I mean? And boys can't have kitchen sets, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that, because that's not what a boy is supposed to do. But there are men chefs, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are men caretakers. There are fathers. Literally, fathers have to deal with babies all the time, you know what I mean? It's like you're not setting up your kid for that role. And then like with girls, okay, girls are supposed to do this, girls are supposed to do that. Where parents, they're more worried about raising them to what they should be than what they could be, if that makes sense.
Explain.
So, like, okay, if you gear your son towards one way and you tell him the other way is bad, you never know. Like, okay, like let's say with like the cooking shit, right?
Yeah.
You tell your son, oh, men don't do that, and they grow up. Your kid could have been a fucking chef, one of the highest chefs in the world. You know what I mean? But he's been raised, okay, men don't even cook. So that's not even something that I want to do. That's not even something that I would be interested in. You know what I mean? But that's when then it comes a part where it's up to you as an adult. Because what your parents do to you, cool. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean you have to be what they did to you. Like, you can always, like, reflect yourself and, like, change your whole, thing. Yeah. You just have to do it, actually.
Yeah. After this, we'll talk about a little bit of conspiracies and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
But talk about your pet peeve of men being indecisive.
Okay.
It's a pet peeve, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I was raised, I'm indecisive myself. You know what I mean? I don't really know what I want. I be trying to do, like, if you like it, I love it. You know what I mean? Like, I'll try anything. But it's kind of like, in my sense, when I want a relationship, I can't be with somebody who doesn't know what the fuck they doing. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Somebody gotta know what they doing. Shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, someone
like,
gotta
the blind can't lead the
fucking
fucking blind. And so it's kind of like I can realize that about myself and realize that I need something different. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or, I mean, I could start making decisions and then I'd be with somebody who's indecisive. But I don't want to do that shit.
Yeah.
Because once I start making moves, I want somebody who making moves too. You know what I mean? So regardless, I don't know. I don't know how to, like, I don't know.
And that goes back to the roles thing, like how that's like nature. Like, I don't know what type of, like, I guess human nature that men are taught to lead and to, like, you know, take charge in the relationship and things like that. There's a lot of men nowadays that they don't know what they want. They don't know what they're looking for. They're like, they're so like in the middle. And you know, this is just an example, but it's like, oh, you meet a girl and you're trying to figure out where to go on a date.
Right.
The dude should pick the date, I feel like, or at least be decisive on, like, okay, like, we're going here this time, blah blah blah,
right,
and whatever, right? Like, how do you feel?
I believe in that as well, but I also kind of feel like it being on a man all the time, that shit get tiring. Nobody,
that's fair,
personally, or even just speaking, nobody want to have to put in all the effort all the time. Nobody wants to do that, regardless of your gender.
Yeah.
Nobody want to do that shit. Like, nobody want to have to plan the dates all the time. Nobody wants somebody who be like, oh, I don't know, it's up to you where you want to go all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn. You know what I mean? So I think in terms of that, because I know it's like a men and woman thing, but it's like what I realize, bitch, we the same.
Yeah.
Everything is back to like a personal thing. We just take it as, okay, well, I'm a man, so I feel like this, or I'm a woman, so I feel like this. You know what I mean? Yeah, like shit. It's really. Do I think a man should do it? Kind of. It like it's showing the initiative in the beginning.
Yeah.
At least in the beginning, it shows the initiative. But if a girl is coming after you, she should be deciding dates. I feel like it's whoever's pursuing the other person.
The energy too, because like I've had females that would like hit me up and like, hey, like let's hang out, let's do this. Like she'll initiate it, and it's like, damn, like okay, I like that shit. Yeah. I was talking with my coworker Brandon. I don't know if he's listening to this. He's going to listen to this, but he was talking about like, damn, I like a girl. I like it when a girl's just bold and like just say what she want to say, what she got to say, and it's like, yeah, I was like, yeah, bro, that shit is so attractive, and it's like. Just because some females are like kind of timid and like to say what they want to say, valid. But it's like if there's a female like and they say what they want to say, that shit is so attractive. One last thing before we wrap it up, let's end it on a, I guess, very interesting note.
Okay.
We were talking about conspiracy theories. One day you asked me about like what are my conspiracy theories, and I was really surprised when you asked me that question. I was like, oh, okay, like blah blah blah. And I gave you mine, and you gave me yours. And I was looking at yours, and I was like, damn, like, this is like, and it wasn't only conspiracy theory shit. Like, that's real shit. Like, people gonna say, oh, it's conspiracy theory.
Yeah, no.
It's real shit. It's like,
shit,
I was so surprised that you knew about it because, like, there's not many people that do know about this type of stuff. And I was, teaching myself, like, a lot of real world shit that goes on in the world that most people don't know about, whether it be the government or certain other.
Remember I told you about like the Tuskegee experiments and stuff? You
never really like finished it, like explaining it.
Okay, so that was more they ran a fake lab saying that they were giving health care to black people, but really they were injecting them with syphilis and seeing how it affected them, like through their life.
That's crazy.
And then they would have kids, and their kids would have syphilis.
What did they say they were testing for?
They weren't testing for anything. I think they were. I'm gonna have to read up on this, but they definitely didn't let people know that they were injecting them with syphilis. Yeah. They were. I think they were like some trials for like maybe it was like a vitamin or something. Like they knew that they were getting something, but they didn't know what it was. Yeah. And so it got to a point. Yeah, so they were doing the experiments. It got to a point I think they had lost funding. I remember it's a lady. Her name is Bailey Sarian on YouTube. She does murder mysteries and makeups, but she also does like dark histories. Yeah. So she did a video of her like take on the Tuskegee experiments, and it's like they ran out of funding. They ran out of funding and like kind of were ordered to close down their hospital, but they didn't. And the way that they got them in. The way that they got people in was they hired a lady. And they didn't tell her, a black lady. And they didn't tell her what they were actually doing. Yeah. They just basically told her, like, they said, we'll offer them health care. We'll offer them rides to and from the hospital. We'll, like, I think they were trying to buy them groceries and shit, like, basically making it sound good. Yeah. So the lady advertised it to black people because she was like, they're trying to help us. You know what I'm saying? So they used the black woman to get black people to come in. Yeah. And they inject them with syphilis. And I think the way that they found out, I'm trying to see how they found out, because it's like, it was like a file done on it. And it was for black people. Crazy part was they had the cure for syphilis and everything. Yeah. They had the cure for it. They literally just wanted to see how it affected black people.
That's some shit, huh?
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Damn. And it was experiments.
Wait, so I'm not too familiar with like a lot of sicknesses or whatever, but syphilis, it makes... It kills?
Yeah.
Is it like a high potency?
Yeah, syphilis kills. It was sick. What, I don't know if you remember Al Capone. Yeah. He had it, I think. And I think it made his nose come off or some shit. Oh, what the fuck? It's it fuck you up. Yeah. It fuck you up. Yeah.
But they did have a cure for it.
Yeah, they had it's penicillin. Yeah. The cure for syphilis is penicillin.
Yeah.
So they had the cure, yeah.
That's fucking nuts. I've never heard of that story.
Yeah, and that's what it is. Have you heard of Black Wall Street?
Tulsa?
I think maybe. I'm not sure. That might be the Tulsa Massacre.
That's what I'm thinking.
But I think that might be it. That might be it. But I know it was like a whole black-owned town, like businesses and
Destroyed.
everything. Yeah, they burnt it to the ground.
Yeah.
And I think there's a place called, it's Lake Lanier. It's, let me see where it is. But basically, underneath Lake Lanier is a black town.
Mm-hmm.
They flooded the town.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and it was an all black town. They flooded it.
Yeah.
And one of the like the people from the place that Lake Lanier is at, they know not to go in the water, just because like when you think of it.
Because you were talking about the Illuminati, the government, doing shit to make us view the world in a different way.
Valid, yeah.
Weather control. Subliminal messages in media, and fear mongering to keep us dumbed down. Those were like the things you told me about.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, like she knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, because the media always report negative shit. Like always negative shit, but always like, okay, like with this whole with COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like that's like my main point, because everybody went through it. Like now they're saying that COVID is just like another flu. And at first you had to quarantine for 2 full weeks, you know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about that shit now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like it was to make people scared, like during that time, you know what I mean? Or I believe sometimes, because if we go deep into it, I think, me personally, and this is also with spirituality.
Yeah. Like
the realm that we're in is like a negative energy realm. Like when you think about Earth, this shit could go so good, but it's always so much bad shit here. You know what I mean?
So is there a positive realm?
I think more it's like vibrations.
Okay.
If you think about frequencies, energy frequencies, you have lower ones, higher ones.
Yeah.
I think in this life we're on a very low frequency level.
I'm not too knowledgeable on like dimensions and like.
Okay, so this is my question then. Do you believe in ghosts or spirits?
Yes.
Okay. So you have to acknowledge that if you do believe in ghosts and spirits, if souls are energy, right? Energy cannot be created nor destroyed.
Transferred.
Right. Okay. Your soul still is here.
Yeah. We
can't see it. So where is it? 3D, 2D, 1D. If you look, okay, I'm gonna a 2D object in a 3D world looks completely different than a 2D object in a 2D world. You see what I'm saying? We can only view things through. We're in 3D technically, but there's a 2D. Yeah. There's a 2D. There's a 1D. There's probably a 4D. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't know how far it goes because we only experience this one and the ones below us, kind of. You know what I mean? So if energy cannot be created nor destroyed, where does our soul, which is energy, go? If we can't see it no more.
Oh, to another dimension.
That's where it would have to go. That's on logically. Logically, that's where it would go.
That makes sense.
And there are negative spirits, positive spirits. Yeah.
That's nuts.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that shit. Yeah. When you think deeper
into
it,
like,
that shit get that shit.
That's fucking crazy.
That shit get That shit get crazy.
Have you heard like people taking like psychedelics and shit?
Those scare me. Yeah. I've like people taking shrooms and stuff. Very judgmental, but I call them crackheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause well, this is what I'm thinking. But that was before my more enlightened side, I guess. Yeah. Because I was calling them crackheads because I'm like, to like not being in control of your mind is crazy as fuck. Like not being able, at least when I'm high, I could tell myself, oh bitch, you tweaking right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? How the fuck I'm gonna know if I'm tweaking if I'm on a psychedelic?
But isn't that in another dimension? Right?
You never know. That's what I'm saying. Or have you heard of people lucid dreaming?
Yes.
Where are you when you lucid dream? Because, they be speaking of seeing shit. Like, seeing shit or stuff being weird. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Where are you?
And you know what's crazy? Mm-hmm. Recently, well, not in the last couple of days, but the last couple of weeks, I've had some very vivid dreams. Very. and it feels like I'm in that shit. It feels like I'm in it.
You might be.
I wake up, and I don't know if this happens to anyone else. I want to explain this right now. Anytime I have like a vivid is lucid dream, right? I guess a lucid dream.
Technically speaking, it would be, yeah. Because lucid dream means like you're awake but dreaming.
Oh, okay. So I guess vivid dream, because I know I think I'd be asleep.
Yeah.
I think I'd be asleep. Anytime I have a vivid dream and I wake up, I don't think about that. I don't, like, my mind
blank it out.
I can't think about it because like I don't know what happens. And then after an hour, 2-3 hours of me being awake and like I'm getting my day started, I'm like, oh shit, like I had a dream about that. I had a dream last night.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, like this happened and this happened.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes I'll try to write it in my notes before I forget, because like after a certain period of time, like I'll forget the dream. Like in that moment, I'm like, oh, I know this happened. I saw this person's face. I was here doing this. And then like, 30 minutes later, if I don't write that shit down, I'll forget about it. Like it'll leave my memory forever.
You won't remember it. Yeah, valid. I've had a couple dreams like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I think about that, when you think about it, you are your consciousness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you're dreaming, you're technically conscious, but that's more your subconscious.
The subconscious.
So technically, you're really living. Like, you only experience this life through your consciousness.
Yeah.
Like, you are a brain in your head. You are a soul in your body. You know what I mean?
Jeez.
You're experiencing it. Your conscious is the only way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think dreams is a little bit of reality. But since you spoke on dreams, I want to tell you about one that I remember from my childhood. It's like a dream from my childhood. I've never watched like the Halloween movies. I only recently watched one, but I've never watched like the Halloween movies, the Freddy Krueger movies, like the Jason and shit. I've never watched that shit. I think I seen like a preview one time.
Is that
when
for
I
a
was
reason,
a kid.
or like you just have it?
It scared me. Like for some reason, I've been watching Insidious and Paranormal Activity, all of them. You know what I'm saying? I could get through that shit, but I think like since I was a kid and it scared me, like as an adult, it's still scary. Like looking back, that shit probably looked fake as hell. Yeah. Because they didn't even have high quality shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But okay, off topic. A dream I remember is I used to live in apartments. I'm in my apartment. I'm having a sleepover. Yeah. Right. All of my friends are there. All of a sudden, like I don't know if somebody says you need to hide or what, but we just start hiding. Right. Yeah. Start hiding. So I forgot where I hid. Oh no, I remember where I hid. I hid beside a hamper. You know, like the little pop-up hampers. Yeah. I had one of those in my room. I hid beside it, but it was mesh. And I think the one with the hockey mask. I think Michael Myers I think Jason is hockey mask. He had to like
I don't know machete. This shit either.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, damn. So I'm telling you, I remember him. He walked in my room, walked directly over to me. He didn't even see nobody else hiding in the room.
That's Jason.
He walked in my room, walked directly over to me, grabbed me, put me on the bed, and like cut my head off. And I woke up like feeling like I'm telling you, I woke up feeling like trying to make sure, but you can't tell me I ain't experienced that. And the fact I'm 21 years old, I had that shit. That shit made me cry and everything.
Damn, that's crazy.
I remember that shit all the way till now. Yeah. I got some other dreams that I remember. Yeah. But them was crazy ones. But that's one that like stuck with me forever. And you can't tell me I didn't experience that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because I went through all the emotions. Yeah. I went through all the emotions. And that's another thing like they give me about death. What if when you die, you just wake up? You know what I mean?
When you die, you wake up.
Or what I've been thinking about, you know how you said different paths and stuff? Yeah. What if you die going down one path, but you switch to a different dimension when you die? And it's the option where you never took that path. You know what I mean?
I've thought about
like it's kind of like just constantly going.
Like it's
because have you ever had like deja vu moments?
Yeah, like
shit?
Oh, this shit happened.
Yeah, but how the fuck? But another thing,
it's gotta come from somewhere.
I'm about to drop something else on you real quick. Time is man-made. We say past, present, future, but really
time
it's just
is inevitable. Yeah. Time is endless.
Yeah.
We just
that
put
shit could
numbers
go
to
forward,
that
backward, but you don't really fucking know.
It
know
can go backwards.
That's what I'm saying. You never fucking know.
Damn, that's so crazy. I was having a conversation with my coworkers. I hope they're listening to this. This was like a month ago or a month and a half ago. I thought about it randomly. I was just like, time doesn't exist
at all. No.
If you think about it.
At all. We just made up numbers and shit. Yeah. Numbers don't exist. Like
we put a number to it to, you know,
to help us better understand
when the sun comes up and when
the
sun comes down and the moon. But time is endless.
Like what the fuck is September?
But time is essential. Time is all we have at the same time. Time doesn't exist, but time
it's all
is
we
essential.
have. Yeah.
It's both.
Yeah.
But it's like two completely opposite shit. That's all we have is time.
Yeah.
But yet again, we have little to no time.
Yeah. So you see how like fucked up that shit is?
Yeah.
We know so much that we don't fucking know.
That we don't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in our brains, we know
we
so
think
much.
We know? Yeah.
We don't know shit.
We don't know shit.
But that's another reason. Like I feel like with me going through life, it's kind of like I'm just a soul going through my journey. You know what I mean? I can decide whether it's a good journey or a bad journey depending on how I decide to feel. You know what I mean? Because bad shit could be happening, but instead of feeling like, oh, my life is just so horrible, like I hate it, oh, this is a lesson. Now I know this. Oh, this is a lesson. Now I know this. It makes it less sad and more informative.
Yeah. It depends like how you want to take it.
How you take it, yeah. You're the master. You're literally the master of everything in your life. Yeah. If you take something and you let it ruin your day is ruined. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you ruined your day. Not that thing. You ruined it. Because you held on to it. Yeah. If you take that shit, let that shit go, that shit don't mean nothing. You're not even going to think about that. Yeah. Or like stressing about certain stuff. You put yourself through shit twice because you do the whole stressing about it and then you have to actually go through it. You know what I mean? That's 2 times. You fucking your shit up.
What's the point?
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I'm like, this was the year. And I started my, I guess, self-improvement journey in 2020. And I was learning along the way, learning about myself, improving in life. 2021 was also very good, but 2022 was the year that I became carefree in a good way. I stopped like, what the fuck am I depressed for?
No, literally.
What the fuck am I going to be stressed about? Literally. Why? Yeah. There's no point.
You've come so far, actually, and I'm so proud of you. Like, where you are now is not where you were a year ago. You know what I mean? It's not. Like, it's constant improvement. Yeah. So, with that, I feel like with the whole, why would you stress? The fact that you can even self-reflect like that and actually feel like that is amazing.
And what worked for me was like, okay, if I can't change it, I'm going to worry about it because that's what I'm going to do to change it. If I can't change it,
don't even worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't make sense. You can't. Yeah.
I'm not gonna stress myself over about something I can't change. I can't do anything.
That's being crazy. That makes you crazy. Yeah. That's insanity.
Shit, insanity is what? Doing something doing the same shit, accepting different result. It's the same shit.
Yeah, basically. You worrying about some shit you can't change. You just fucking worrying.
Yeah.
For no reason. The shit is gonna happen regardless.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, but that's what I mean, putting yourself through shit twice.
Yeah.
You worry about it, and then you actually have to go through it. That's double negative. Like, why the fuck? You already got to go through it. Why not just make it the best way? That's what I'm saying. Why not just go through it the best way you can?
Life's already hard enough.
No, it definitely is. Definitely.
But, guys, that's going to wrap this podcast episode up. Episode 4. I got it right here. I remember now. Episode 4 of the podcast. First ever guest on the Be of One of One podcast, Tiranie, none other. Thank you for being the first guest. I hope you feel special.
Thank you for having me. I feel special, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to give other people space to kind of speak their mind and like kind of talk about shit that goes through their mind, because I'm sure you don't have really too many places to go and talk about like shit like this, Yeah. So it's really good for me to get other people on, and it's good for me to get other people's perspectives on.
You learn a lot of shit just listening.
Like I learned a lot of shit from you just now, like literally. And this is like probably a podcast I'm gonna go back and actually listen to myself, because as much as I hate listening to myself, Yeah, I'm gonna need to
Yeah.
because yeah, this was a fire ass episode,
Yeah.
y'all.
I knew it. That's what I'm saying. I already knew it was. I'm telling you, like, toot my own horn for a second, and it's gonna be fucked up.
Talk your shit.
It's gonna be fucked up. But like in every relationship that I go into since I've made my like mental journey, that's kind of the role I play. I'm like an informant almost. I realized that with like my friends, my parents, my siblings, everybody.
And that's how it should be. You're like the reward.
Basically, yeah, pretty much. You know
I feel
what
like
I'm
that's
saying?
how everyone should feel. Appreciate y'all for listening. If y'all made it this far, please make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. If you're watching this on YouTube, share this video out. Make sure y'all do subscribe. I will also drop, clips of the podcast here and there. So if y'all were, I'll drop timestamps too, so y'all can go to a specific topic we're talking about.
I guess, okay, my takeaway from this would be the person you needed as a child. That would be mine.
Those are great words. Yeah. Y'all heard it there, but I'm about to end this thing off. Y'all know how I always end it off, man. Be different. Be a wonderful one. I'm out. Peace.
Bye.
Any last words?